Welcome back, and with us today is Yoloparks Amk series Optimus Primal from Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And I have no clue where to start describing this little simian, because there's a lot to love here, as well as some stuff to not really love. But before the good stuff, let me remind you, these are model kits that come pre-built, pre-painted, with minor assembly required out of the box. And yeah, these don't transform if you couldn't tell, but they do look really nice and pose really well as an alternative. Now, getting the good stuff out of the way. Personally, I think out of the three, Primal here absolutely nails the design from the movie, capturing it perfectly, far better than the others to be honest. And considering we only saw Primal in robot mode for like 3 minutes or less in the movie, they really do those 3 minutes justice. Though I kinda would've actually liked if Yolopark had done Primal in his beast mode instead of his robot mode because big giant badass robot monkey. Need I say more? But whether they choose to make Primal and the other Maximals in their beast modes later down the line, or not, which I personally doubt, I'm pretty content with this because, oh my heavens. At first I didn't like this robot design too much because I thought it looked boring because of the lack of color and felt that it just generally missed the point of what made the original design so special. But then I came to look at this design from the perspective of it being a new interpretation of Optimus Primal rather than a direct translation of our favorite monkey, not truck. And now, I really do love it. I guess it also does help to have a perfect physical representation of the design to really appreciate it. Because if the gorilla mode was already badass, then the robot mode is badass-er. Because it's just wild to me how they took heavy inspiration from one of the worst Optimus Primal designs and worst designs we've seen in this franchise, period. And managed to deliver this beauty? What? Just look at the mechanical detail and how it shines here, as it's not completely exposed but it's still covered, creating this awesome floating effect, giving the figure a nice balance of a robot that looks like it turns into a monkey, rather than a robot wearing monkey parts. It also helps that all the detail is so crisp that it all just pops so nicely, even without having a wash or any weathering, which of course I'm gonna add, so like and subscribe to see that down the line. Because, once again, for the losers who can't paint, Yolopark has you covered again, because they already applied certain areas with paint, like his face, abs, legs, pistons, and other parts, which, like Bumblebee, are applied with the utmost precision and quality. Because while being a simplistic color scheme, the breakup and distribution between the three colors is magnificent, as it doesn't feel lame, but extremely badass at the same time, because of the sleek black look bordering a fine line of edginess. And maybe that's why I get slight Frank Miller Batman vibes. Not that one. That one. The beefy proportions, the small narrow ears. Come on, I can't be the only one who sees this. Anyways, a big positive this guy has over his wave mates is that he's the only one to include accessories. Beautifully painted, might I add. But before that, how about some size comparisons? Because here he is with my last review, which you should totally go and check out, and Optimus Prime, whose review is coming soon. Also, Studio Series Bumblebee, Custom Unique Toys Desperado, and Flame Toys Leo Prime, and once again, the plastic isn't even comparable to an actual model kit because he feels so durable. And I say that confidently because this figure has already had 2 shelf dives as of writing this. Anyways, here are the accessories. 2 beautifully painted blades that slide easily into these 2 sword-holding hands. And the blades can combine like this. He also comes with these grabby hands, 1 pointing finger, 1 fisted hand, all interchangeable through a ball joint by the way, and 1 maskless face, which is too much effort to change out and isn't even worth it because it doesn't look too different from the other head. And if you are going to remove the head, be careful because this part right here is prone to cracking. And as you can see, mine is already cracked from the first time I assembled this. Also, I will say that for some reason the sword-holding hands are the loosest hands on this guy, which suck because they're the hands I'm gonna be using the most. Anyways, addressing the other negatives. The ab joint is painfully loose, so much so that it can't stay in certain positions, and it just becomes a balancing act and a matter of summoning gods to help you out. Also, these forearm panels move for no fucking reason at all, but for the sake of being annoying little cunts. But most annoying of all is this panel right here that pops off randomly without you ever knowing. And when you do finally realize, you have to drop everything you're doing and drop to your knees and search for this thing. Otherwise, it's gone forever. And it only happens on this side because this side hasn't fallen off since I built this. Also, the neck hinge is so tight you have to take the head off just to hinge it and use it properly. But hey, I can forgive a lot of this stuff because it can be remedied with a little bit of glue and a bit of manly tinkering. Did I mention he's only $35? Cause don't let those negatives distract you from a ball-jointed head attached to a hinge. Also, this collar is on a ball joint, but it doesn't really make a difference. Ball joints in the base of the shoulders alongside some universals. The shoulder pads also hinge. Swivel here. A beautiful curl that has these faux pistons. Ball joint. Abs crunch back, forth, and side to side, all on a weak-ass universal joint. And this piece of his spine hinges. How cute. Swivel. Legs drop and are on a universal. Swivel. Bends a little more than 90. And we see some more pistons and the kneecap hinges. Ain't that nice? The feet pivot that much, swivel a bit, go forward that much, back that much. Also the toes move. Because regardless of the poor abs, this guy still poses like a champ, if you haven't noticed. And while having his fair share of flaws, which might be a my copy type of thing, I can still recommend this guy because there's still so much to love on him. And I'm still having fun with the figure because I haven't really been able to put him down, regardless of all those little flaws I've been pointing out this entire time. Anyways, the biggest detail which I really do love on this guy is if you look closely, a little bit closer,